Well, ZeNX has been around for a while.
Oh, ZeNX has been around forever.
Yeah.
But Dream Team Gaming making it this far in the qualifier is pretty impressive. No doubt about that.
Say they have chosen a very bold name, Dream Team Gaming.
Indeed.
That's pretty bold. You better win with that kind of name. And they've been winning so far. They've been doing pretty good.
I think it's just a good name regardless, you know? It's like we're the Dream Team.
Confidence in your heart.
It's like MVP.
Yeah.
You know?
Cole MVP or MVP before they were Cole MVP.
All the Korean teams are kind of, you know, splitting away from those. Well, Cole MVP's still together, right?
Yes.
Okay. So they've got
Quantic IM was the one that had the split.
Yeah, Quantic IM had the split. And really, I mean, there was no reason for IM to be doing that, to be honest. I mean, IM has the best players in the world, and they're partnering up with a North American organization. Although, you know, if Quantic did have the resources to send some of those best players in the world to foreign tournaments in order for exchange and promotion and sponsorship, then that's something different. But it seems to me like maintaining a relationship like that overseas without constant communication, there's no real ability to meet each other at these kind of events. I mean, it's all online. It's all via email and Skype and whatnot. It seems very difficult to establish a real-world connection with a team in South Korea that actually benefits both parties, you know, 100%. It just seems really hard to do that.
Having said that, though, it might not be out of the future for IM to team up with a different organization.
No, I don't think so. But I feel that the North American organizations get a lot more out of partnering up with the Korean.
Out of the deal, yes, absolutely.
They really, really do.
Especially if you're teaming up with the best team in South Korea, you've got to throw up a little bit more, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, did he? He's got the Forge up, and he's sending a second probe, I believe, and there's no spawning pool.
Life went for a hatch first in ZVP.
Spawning pool just came up. Here comes the second probe. It's making its way into the natural right now. Pylon is up. Cannon's getting built by the second probe.
That's very clever.
Drone's being pulled off the line here.
Oh, the drone's going to intercept the cannons.
Beautiful.
And I don't think that was intentional. I think that was just an accident.
Yeah.
But it played out beautifully for him.
It certainly did.
The Pylon is about to, well, it's draining its shields away. One of the probes went down as well. But Tatov can still be aggressive with this. He could throw down some cannons if he wants to.
Oh, think how much mining time Life is losing, though, with all those drones being out in the field. I mean, they're really just not doing anything.
For the cost of a pylon?
That pylon and a probe, I'll take it.
Yeah, and this is why it's so difficult to expand with the hatchery first before spawning pool against a Protoss player. 99%, well, maybe not 99% of the time, but a lot of the time a Protoss is going to forge fast expand, and that gives them the ability to do exactly what Tatov just did.
Yeah, and no cannon's going to be placed at the natural here, and I like that decision. I think it would be kind of a foolhardy move to start dropping cannons at this point. We do have Lings about to pop out, and the two queens are going to finish.
And the creep is already extending.
Indeed.
Yeah, so, but you know what? He did the damage. It was worth it with that pylon going down. I mean,
absolutely.
By far.
Absolutely. A lot of indirect damage being done there to the economy of Life. And both players are even on Harvesters at this point, and you know, we do have the Nexus about to finish here for Life, so, you know, Life in a pretty good spot here. I wouldn't say that he's crazy far ahead, but it's definitely a good opener for
Tatov?
Life. Oh, I mean, yeah, Tatov, excuse me. Yeah. Definitely a good opener for Tatov, and, you know, he's managing to transition into the mid-game here pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime the Protoss player is tied up on Harvesters before their natural is down, that bodes pretty well for them, because now we're going to see Chrono Boost expended on those Nexi, and a lot of probes starting to pump out. There is a hatchery in the bottom right-hand corner here for Mr. ZeNEX.Life. He's gone right away for a third expansion, which I don't hate.
I love it whenever you find anything new on the map. Like, there's a hatchery.
Yes, well, I'm the inspector. I'm checking out the map for new details, new clues.
Yes, indeed. So there is a third going down, and we talked about this earlier on this map, Sandshorn Mists, how it's kind of the players have to make a very serious choice about which direction they want to start expanding in.
Yes.
And here we have Life starting to expand in counterclockwise
direction, but it's towards the Protoss player.
Yes, and I think that the counterclockwise expand and vice versa for Tatov. For Tatov, it would be the counterclockwise expand. I think that's the natural third on this map. But as Zerg, I think you can kind of afford to expand in both directions.
Yeah.
And that makes it so that the Protoss player has to go down one avenue or the other, and you can almost assuredly get one expand up even if you end up losing the other. So I really like it when Zerg players on this map just start expanding down both paths like crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard for the Protoss player to attack those two different spots at once.
And here's another important thing to note as well on this map. At some point, the Zerg is going to have to deal with, and the Protoss as well, both players are going to, a little bit of scouting right there, both players are going to have to deal with the multiple attack paths on this map. Look at this third ping user. There's an attack path over here into the area, but the natural also has its own ramp as well. And because of this, by design, you're going to see a lot of counterclockwise and clockwise motion of different armies kind of engaging in different spots. It really promotes that kind of skirmish play style. That pylon there is going to get picked off, though. So Tatov trying to erect a couple of pylons around the map. That's going to be scouted and picked off. There is a lot of roaches on the way here with Burrow and Speed and a Dark Shrine coming up. Both these guys not seeming to want to play a standard ZVP here because maybe they're not familiar with the map and they're trying something a little, well, a little fishy and cheesy.
Oh, wow, and he gets the pylon up, is going to get those 4 Zealots into the third, but the Roaches come just in the nick of time, and they're going to be able to clean up these Zealots with relative ease. Movement speed is going to finish here in just a little while, so he just has to keep chasing those Zealots, and then hopefully, you know, he will run into... Well, no, he's not going to run into anything. He's going to get speed by the time they get back to the main. He should be able to catch up with them before they get back to the natural block.
But what's really important here is that Burrow upgrade that's about to finish. Is Life going to try to be a little fancy here at the front door? Also, don't forget that Dark Shrine on the way. Both guys really going for not common strategies in ZVP. This is kind of the cheesy way to play it out. The thing here about the Roach Burrow here is there are buildings at the front. What is he going to do here?
Careful.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful. But the force fields are negated by Burrow. He can actually go underneath the force fields here. But he doesn't have Roach tunneling claws yet. So
is
all
he
he
going
can
to
do
lose the Forge? He needs to keep that Forge alive. It does have the +1 on the way. Doesn't want to lose that, and it goes down. Upgrade about 75% from completion there. What is he doing with the Dark Shrine, though? We haven't really seen him utilize the Dark Shrine just yet. And an Overseer already for Life with the majority of his army.
Yeah, that means that he'll be able to see any potential Dark Templar coming out. There's 3 DTs coming out on the bottom right-hand corner. He's going to try to send them into this hatchery. And is there an Overseer nearby? Not really. So this hatchery could take some damage from these 3 DTs here. And Tatov has to do something. He lost that Forge. You know, he lost a critical +2 weapons upgrade. Can he take out this hatchery? Look at how much damage 3D Dark Templar do. That's insane.
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous.
Wow, he's going to kill the hatchery.
Yeah, he is. Wow. And that's just the time it takes to run a few roaches over there and potentially save it. And in that time, it's gone.
In that time, it is
gone. That really hurts Life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's brutal.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see him do exactly what you said. Double expand here. 1 to the bottom right and 1 over here to the top left.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good option for him right now. And look at the supplies right now. Life is actually 40 supply up, which is quite impressive. He did just lose his third, so that's a little bit of a hit to the economy there. That's definitely a hit to the infrastructure. Oh, and just missing that DT.
He could go in here and snipe off that hatchery, or at least do some damage. Sending multiple DTs across the map, this is really smart, of course, because it mitigates any effectiveness from one single Overseer. Speaking of Overseers, one is coming into the main of Tatov right now, P-User. And it's going to see just the gateways dropping a Contaminate on one of the warp gates.
How many gateways do we have right now? Is that 7?
Serious.
Is that 7 gate Forge?
That is.
Oh, wow. So we might actually see... Is that an 8th gate going up, or is that that's a Robo? Okay. 7 gate Robo with +2
weapons and Dark Templar.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And the Dark Templar actually attacking the hatchery here.
Very nice.
But that hatchery is pretty high up in HP. I don't think there's any danger of it going down. That Overseer... There's an Overseer coming in.
Wow, he did end up getting it to half, though.
And he blocks it in. Yeah, they did +2 weapon DTs. I mean, let's look at the damage they do. It's actually really insane.
Not playing around at all.
55. And he's going to go in here and hack up a couple more drones. Just racking up the points on his side. The drones and the queen combined take it away, but here comes ZeNEX.Life.
55, 110, 165. Their damage is ridiculous.
Keep going. Don't stop.
No. Their damage is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. And here comes a massive battle from ZeNEX.Life coming in here. Force fields cutting some of the army away, but not the best fields, in my opinion. I really feel like Life is going to be able to pull away from this. If those force fields were better placed, he could have actually locked some units in front and done more damage.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Now, is he going to try and take a third here and use all of those gateways defensively, or is he going to try and go on the offensive and do some damage here to Life? Because the only damage he's really done is those DTs. He hasn't moved out beyond the safety of his natural much more than that.
I would really like to see him make something happen here. ZeNEX.Life is maxed out right now. I really feel like he should trade rather than let this Protoss army max out on his own accord.
Yeah, we do see a lot of Zerg players make this mistake. They max out and then, but he's actually making his move here through mid. And he's going to fall back here.
Yeah, it's important, though, to wait for a better terrain position to engage. Even though the Protoss army is smaller, you don't want to engage into a choke like this.
Yeah, and that middle position is so good for Protoss right there. There's just chokes all around. It makes it very difficult to get anything done. And it looks like Life is just going to completely circumvent that and go around to try and get a better position here for a potential conflict. And he's swinging around.
I like this position a lot better. He's got to get most of his units up here. And here's the time for him to trade, but he pulls back. I think that was a decent spot for him to fight because the longer he waits, of course, that Protoss army gets bigger, and that was a really big surface area to attack at.
Yeah.
Could have been a mistake. Now, he is waiting for Overlord Ventral Sacks, it looks like, but man, waiting for that upgrade, I think it's just going to cost him. This Protoss army is getting huge.
And it's continuing to add more and more. Look at all the pylons he has in the midfield right now. Does not want to lose that position as a potential warp-in or support spot for his army. The Immortal in the back actually not getting in the action. And here we go. Force fields go down. All of the Roaches and Hydras getting ripped to pieces, and he just blinks on top of everything right there. His entire army just getting cleaned up, and Life is in a lot of trouble here. He's hardly done any damage. He hasn't even put a dent in the armor of Tatov's army right here.
Tatov's looking really, really good right now.
Yeah.
And the Shark looks on. The Protoss player is definitely looking to get a dominant W here. I think ZeNEX.Life just made a critical mistake. Didn't trade when he had the opportunity to do so. And now that Protoss army is knocking on the front door. We do have Ventral Sacks research, though. He has a queen inside the Overlord.
I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Surprisingly, a queen only taking one slot. He's going to drop the queen off on the Protoss
Drop the
army.
Roaches and the queen.
Oh, he dropped the queen.
Oh, she got liquidated.
Yeah, that wasn't... The story of that queen was not a very good biography to read into.
Well, I guess this game really just showcases what we were discussing. You've got to make your move against a Protoss player and not allow them to get up to that 200-200 ball, or you need to expand more aggressively and tech harder.
Broodlords would have been great to have right now.
I don't know if he could have gotten Broodlords in time for that push, but he certainly could have teched up to Hive